All right, I think we're live. Whew. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Um, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday, or I think in some areas it's actually Sunday already, which is crazy. But thank you for joining us. We're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so sound checking, making sure everything looks as good as it can be, to help answer any questions. And I just had to catching up on some of the chat now. It is great to see some familiar faces and some new ones as well. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. Um, and I'm going to repeat this a little bit later as well, but things that we really wanted to do today, instead of like a heavy workshop about like, technique building and things of that nature, we wanted um, oh, intermittent. Oh no. Okay, that might have to do with the fan. Okay, let me move the fan. I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay, so see, this is why we do sound check. All right, so let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, and I can turn up the volume just a hair. Yeah, a lot of these the live stream things, we have to keep things at a certain level just to make sure audio doesn't clip, because that's like the worst thing, right? So there's a lot of built-in measures that keep the overall level for the live stuff a little bit lower just in case. But most times it's okay. Please let me know if that's sounding better. I think it was the fan. Awesome. See, this is why we do sound check. Thank you guys for your help. Oh, good. Oh, oh, Sandy, we miss San Diego. Although it's hard to complain. Oh, good. Yeah. So so Sarah has the good spot, and she's actually putting the baby down, and he'll probably make an appearance near the end of the workshop. But she is underneath the AC on that side of the room, and then I have a fan that was blowing on me, but I think it was hitting the mic, which was causing some of those audio issues. So I have the fan kind of blowing behind me in hopes that it helps circulate the AC. We are on Oahu. Oh, Tom, it's great to see you, and thank you guys so much for your donations as well. That was really, really nice of you. Um, yeah, even though Kauai is one of our favorites, my family all lives in on Oahu, so um, we wanted to make sure uh, Cameron gets to grow up around family. Oh, thanks, Vicky, and thank you as well. This again, we love what we do, and we're just excited that people want to learn the ukulele and get and improve, so one of the things that we're going to do today is actually touch base on a bunch of the other workshops that we've been doing throughout the year, and kind of apply it in this kind of duet setting. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a little bit more of a, I mean, there's I'm gonna go over some cool riffs. I'm gonna go talk about how to implement them and how to practice them. But a lot of it will be a discussion today and things to think about that we think about whether we're playing with someone and we have time to rehearse or jumping on stage and going from there. I think Sarah's iPad is on. Let me turn that audio off. Oh my gosh, Mary. I didn't realize you could do a playback speed change doing a live stream. Huh. Hmm. Yeah, there is going to be a little bit of background noise while we have the AC on, but I'll probably turn it off when we start the workshop itself. And that should actually help a bunch. Let's see. Oh, so Lisa in the chat has a great question about recommending a mic for recording voice and ukulele. Um, Here is my short answer. Because you're gonna when you look up things like that online, you're going to um, you are going to see a lot of gear that will need other pieces of the puzzle um, to work well. Um, and so, what I would suggest is first, if you're working with just, let's say, a iPad. Oh. Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why. All right. 1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, I gotta cut you off. The band went out. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I think we should be better now. Let me double check. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think we're back in business. Maybe. Hmm. Okay. The joys of live streaming in Hawaii. Thank you guys for being so patient. Again, things. Anytime we do live streams, there is a chance where things can get a little funny. Should be getting much better speeds now. One of the yeah, that looks great, so we should be okay. Yeah, the that's not good that it keeps starting and stopping. Let's see if this will mess things up. Da, 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 da. All right, checking 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Let's see. Well, I'm glad we still have 16 minutes before we officially start. Okay, let's try that. It's amazing that this seems to be like the first time in all of our live streams that we're having some issues. Oh, the joys, the joys. And Diane, thank you guys. I mean, Diane has been. If you guys don't know Diane Nalini, definitely check out her YouTube channel. She has amazing, amazing stuff there. Okay, sound is constant. That's good. Yay! Oh, the stress. The stress, I tell you. And the thing is, which is kind of nice, is that this stuff, as stressful as it is, compared to like our mini fests when we had, oh my gosh, how many people watching? That was so intense, especially doing this kind of stuff for the first time with all of the things. So thank you for checking in. Let's see. All right, while it's still kind of catching up, I think let's talk a little bit about that question about a mic that will do well. A big thing has to do with your system. So if you're using an iPad, there are microphones with that lightning adapter to use straight into your iPad, so you don't have to buy another interface and all of these other things just to make it work. If you do have a laptop or you do have a computer, and if you're investing in that future of doing more recordings and doing more kind of live streams or videos, I would highly recommend getting a decent interface. Like the Scarletts are a fantastic option, and are not very expensive at all. And then you can actually use, your typical performance microphones, because they have an XLR input. So there's so many options. But to me, part of a lot of our gear recommendations too is just the amount of time that you spend with it is going to be important, because just like an ukulele, you can have the best ukulele in the world, but unless you practice, unless you figure out its nuances and why it's different than the other instruments that you played, then that's where we really get familiar with it. So like photography, you can get really, really good with an entry-level camera, and that camera inside and out. So when you do upgrade, you're going to be more familiar with your process, and it's just going to get easier and easier and easier. Okay. I wonder. Okay, we still have 12 minutes before we officially start. And again, welcome to Soundcheck. We are having a little bit of buffering. OBS says I am doing great. I wonder if it's a YouTube thing as well, because YouTube was down on Wednesday for like a lot of the day. There are times where we've seen, there was one workshop we did last year where 3 minutes or 5 minutes before our live stream, the entire YouTube just broke. It was crazy. So, I mean, we'll do what we can. Everything on my end looks like I'm pushing out a signal that's strong enough. So we'll see. YouTube is still saying that I have a poor stream status. So again, I'm curious to see if it's on their end. Interesting. Oh, yeah, the mini fest are so much fun. Okay, now are there any other questions that we can talk a little bit about before we officially get started? And don't forget, you can I'll probably mention this again, but I've been so excited. There's a couple announcements. Oh my gosh, there's a couple of really, really big announcements that I cannot announce just yet. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Maybe, I think by the middle of next week we can announce it. But for now, I do have. Let's see if this works. Boom. Maybe. Aha. So here are some of our upcoming events. Oh my gosh, and I'll have Sarah talk a little bit about them a little bit later, but I just wanted to give you a preview of some of the things that we are working on. And besides this too, we are working on some special, some very special projects for our artist work students as well, which I'm really excited. Oh, yeah, our stream just went back to healthy, which is good. Let's see how long that's How long it stays. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, and here's the hard part too. A lot of, how many more people are streaming now, which is such a big change, going forward with everything, and how tech companies are going to have to deal with that. Oh my gosh, now it says I'm not healthy anymore. I'm back to poor status. Ah. So we will do our best. Yes, Ann Ford has a great question. Can we do these duets solo? So the duets today is taking one song and talking about a bunch of different processes that we go through, to think about, um, how to play them, when playing with others, whether you practice or not with them. So there's a lot of concepts that you can do even when, you're solo. I think it's going to be fantastic. Um, Chris. And Chris, thank you guys so much for your donation. Again, that it just means the world. Yes, and today is completely free. We're just asking for donations. It allows us to spend some extra time on these live streams. But we do have a big Christmas one coming soon. Um, but yeah, this is going to be fantastic. Can you talk about your strings? Yes, Fern. We have 3 sets of strings with GHS, and the first set is your typical high G set, but it's made with this ground nylon, so it's really soft and a little bit more mellow. As you can tell, it's not very bright, and that's on purpose. We didn't want something with that over the top bright kind of Hawaiian sound. We wanted something with a little bit more body, a little bit fuller sounding. So that's, and plus the action is nice, that it's not as high tension as a lot of other strings. So to me, this is like, it's so hard to play anything else. I love these strings so much. We have a low G set as well. That's a non-wound low G string, so it's not as boomy. And we have a high D tuned string set, which is made for a tenor only. All the high G, low G sets are made for concert or tenor, but the high D, I gotta find it a little bit later. But the high D is a re-entrant baritone. So it's a, I'll pull it out when Sarah comes out so I can show you. But it's a nice, beautiful re-entrant high D tuning. So it turns your tenor into a re-entrant baritone, which is really nice. Awesome. No, I really wish we could make some of those big announcements. They are life changing, and I'm so incredibly excited. Soon, I promise. Oh no, Rebecca has no sound. Is that an issue with a lot of other people too? Because that's a big thing to not have. Oh yes, and Steve, we're still doing the Ukulele Friends Hawaii. That's Mondays and Thursdays on Facebook. If you look up our Facebook page, or group, I should say, Ukulele Friends Hawaii. Again, that consists of Jake Shimbabukuro, Brian Tolentino, Herboto Jr., David Kamakahi, Kama Hopkins, Hale Haku Seaberry, Brittany Paiva, Hoku Zudemeister, and myself and Sarah. And we have usually special guests on Thursdays, and Mondays is a free-for-all, whatever topics come up, pretty much. So that's been really fun. I think this coming Thursday we'll have the amazing Aldrin Guerrero with us. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, YouTube is saying excellent. Stream is healthy. We'll see how long we can hold that. Rebecca, I hope you found sound. Oh, thanks, Diane. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes, if you didn't already, please download your free packet at craigandsarah.com under the live streams tab. Um, the Beyond the Basics. Sarah is actually spearheading that. I'll have her talk about the Beyond the Basics series. Um, but I think I'll be doing part of my boot camp thing tomorrow, which is talking about the hold, talking about bar chords, talking about B flat, talking about transitions and playing in a way that's not gonna hurt you and affect uh, your long and luxurious ukulele playing career. Because again, there's a lot of things that we do when we first kind of get started that isn't necessarily the best thing to do with your hands. So for me, that's going to be my focus tomorrow, only for a little bit about that. But Sarah's going to go into transposing a bit, and again, kind of giving you a chance for if you guys have been following us like this whole year, you're going to be past a lot of that, I think. Because it'll probably be cherry picked things from what we've been teaching throughout. Okay. Okay, I'm glad people have sound. No, we're not gonna have another baby. That's not what this announcement is. Oh, in a way, I guess. In a way, no, no. This the oh, the pressure. No, it is something we both kind of dreamed about. Never really thinking that it would really come to fruition, but oh my gosh, we're so excited. It's a collaboration in many ways, but with people that we've always hoped to work with before and never really got a chance to. So there's some really big things coming up for next summer. Oh no, no sound. Okay. Just for support. Okay. All right. So YouTube is still saying we're nice and healthy. So let's see. And Sarah is getting the baby down. We do have an AC and a fan running because it is very hot. But we'll probably turn off one of them when we really start teaching. No, yet. So we had rain the last live stream, but it is really warm and sunny right now. It is beautiful here in Hawaii. Let's see. And Sarah's just about ready. Would you repeat the name of the strings? They are our signature GHS strings. So I think you can order them via our website or through GHS themselves. But yeah, we absolutely love them. We've been playing them for about 5 years now. Not the same set, but like those series of strings. It's much more. This is gonna be the most thing we've ever done for the ukulele community, I think. So we're very, very excited. Alright, so are you ready? What? Okay, so Sarah will be joining us. And we had a question about the Beyond the Basics series, if you can kind of go into detail on that.
Can you tell me what the question is?
To talk more about the Beyond the Basics series that
Aloha, everybody. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody had asked about Beyond the Basics. I'm not sure what the specific question was, but that class, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a 4-part series. We're doing it in the Allegheny Ukulele Collective are the folks that are sponsoring the series. And we're going to be basically going over the first class will be a little bit of review of basic chord shapes, just in case, because it is from beginners and then beyond. So we're going to just take a little bit of time to review over some warm-up exercises. Some of you guys know some of Craig's exercises already, so it'll be fun to review that. And then we're going to get into movable chord shapes. Hopefully we'll get into some scale work too during the series. Class is really going to be more about utilizing the movable chord shapes and being able to play songs using some of those different positioned chords as well. So I think that's gonna work out really, really well for for that series. And then trying to think of other things that we'll probably also go over on that will be, besides, we'll be doing basic C scale stuff and a variety of different C scale variations. And we'll also be doing hopefully some chord substitution-y things too, since some of those chord substitutions are easier than the second position chords, which is kind of funny. Let me double check, make sure I'm not missing anything. The will not be recorded. No, this is being treated like it's an in-person class, because this series is actually something they used to do in person. So it will not be recorded. Okay. Thank you for letting me know about the sound. I will double check with Craig on that in just a few minutes. Hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. I'm just making sure that I'm in the live chat, looking at the live chat. Yay. It me, or is it Craig too when he's talking? Just let me know. They're saying my sound randomly will cut in and out every couple of seconds. Okay. Oh, sorry guys. I was just double checking and looking at some things in the chat. So today we're going to be talking about duets, and there's going to be some main points that we're going to discuss. One thing that we decided to do for this one, I don't know if Craig already mentioned it, was this will be a free packet, free event. That because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're doing during the actual workshop and creating as we go, that we wanted to do that. And then we're going to give you the follow-up material. So the way that you get the follow-up material, you need to be on our mailing list, because we're going to send it to everyone on our mailing list. You can just join the mailing list, or if you want, you can go on our live streams page. I have a little form you can fill out too, that will allow you to be able to get the follow-up material signing up for our list. You should be able to see it. It should be there and ready up there on there. Awesome. Yay. It's so good to see you guys. Aloha, Jeff and Glenna. Yay. Nice. This is awesome. I love seeing everybody here. This is so exciting. Hi, Tom. Tom and Lisa, it's wonderful to see you here. Awesome. Very, very, very cool. And the song we're going to be using today is Under the Boardwalk, and we'll be working on it in the key of F. So should be, again, lots and lots of fun, of course. All righty. So for Beyond the Basics, we are going to be giving you the material we do in class. So there will not be packets prior, but you will receive a packet afterward. For the third and fourth class, we might give stuff ahead of time, but for now, for the Beyond Basics class, you will be receiving the materials that we actually create in class. They should come to you a couple of days afterward. I think that's going to be really, really cool. And that way we don't miss anything in the packet too. Because that is something that sometimes does happen when we have the packets prior, is that then there'll be information missing from it. Because of course we do go off on tangents and all of that stuff. Yes, so let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that Beyond the Basics class. That it's going to be cool. And I'm also excited we're doing a fun event with Cynthia Lynn and Ukulele Christmas event. That should be a blast, as well as one with Heidi and Daniel. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun too. So very, very excited. And I think that Craig is working on some sound stuff right now. So yay. Oh, and you're welcome, everybody. I see some folks, some names I recognize as our Artist Work students. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to have a quick sip of tea. Delicious. Now, so for the Duets class, things that we want you to think about are, remember, whether you're playing with someone or whether you're playing solo, when you are performing a song, you are telling a story. And so you want to make sure that whatever choices you make with your chords, with your picking, etc., that they all are going towards that one goal of telling the story the way that you would like the story told. So one thing that you can do right off the bat is make sure that you actually play quieter than you think, because especially if you're singing, if you're an instrumentalist, it's a little bit different. But if you're singing and playing a song, you want to make sure that the lyrics are heard, because the lyrics are going to be more important than your chords. So take the time when you do practice to maybe, strum at, 20% or less, and then let the vocals do the rest of the carrying, because you'll find that you don't fight your instrument, and also that you will, you can do more subtleties if you dial back your uke a little bit, and you'll be able to create more dynamics because you'll have a larger dynamic range too. And that, I think, will give you chances to enhance your story, because also remember, when we tell a story, just talking, somebody says the sound seems to be okay now, that's good. But when you're telling that story, when you're just speaking to someone, you aren't monotone, and you don't keep the same volume when you're telling a story. If there's a part that's really exciting, you get loud, and if there's a part that, it's a little scary, you get soft. So keeping those things in mind, you all want to apply that to playing the instrument as well. So just something that we are wanting you to think about and be aware of. Also, I noticed somebody beautiful mug. Thanks. Was my mom's, actually, and my parents used to go to a lot of art shows and craft shows, and that mug is actually on the bottom. I think it's 1994 from one of the art shows that they went to. I think it was the Kentuck Arts Festival in Alabama. So any of y'all from Alabama that know about Kentuck, you'll know. Oh, hi, Ron. Good to see you. Please give your sweetie a huge hug from us. So it might actually be YouTube itself, unfortunately. Craig has been doing a lot of troubleshooting, and it doesn't seem to be on our end, which is odd. But that's why we do sound checks, so thank you guys so much. Chantel says it looks like a buffering thing. The circle comes up and then cuts out.
Yeah, we're pushing way more than needed even for the stream, so it's something on YouTube's end for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, should we just get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So thank you guys again so much for joining us. If there's any audio issues, it looks like it's definitely, it's not on our end, unfortunately. I see some people, it says it's working well now, so we'll see. But thank you guys so much. This will be awesome. Nice. So how do you sign up for Beyond Beginners? You can go to our, you can do it through our website if you'd like. It is, you can go to our events, and then there's a button that says sign up, and it'll take you to the Eventbrite page that is set up by the Allegheny Ukulele Collective, because they are the ones taking the sign-ups for the classes. And you can still sign up. It's going to be tomorrow, I believe, for us, 7:30 a.m., but 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And that is going to be the Beyond Basics, and you can go through our website, or if you look up the Allegheny Ukulele Collective, spelled with a K, Collective, you could also go through their website too, but it'll take you to the same Eventbrite page where you can sign up. Mike is a wonderful guy who's leading it or put it all together, and he will be sending out materials and everything afterward. Woohoo! Okay, so we have got our song up, it looks like. So let's just go through just the basics of it. I have the song in two different places. I've look at the music notation with the lyrics. It's at the very back of your packet, or you have this here, which is just a box chart, so that it's just easier for us to show it on screen. And symbol with the line and the two dots, that just means play what was in the measure prior. And then I think that last block on the very last line, I think we are going to ignore that last measure that's empty if we are not repeating the song. Otherwise, that's kind of the pickup measure. I think I forgot to write pickup in there. Oh, YouTube went down the other day? Yikes.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
All right, so this is your plain Jane chords. We are going to be using Under the Boardwalk for this example for today. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off, and I'll kind of call out when we're repeating, but we're going to start with your typical, calypso strum, that down, down, up, down. And I'm going to start changing it up and talk through a couple different things that we're going to go into more detail as we play along for this first time. So let's start with... And actually, Sarah, if you want to sing, that'll be great.
All right. I probably won't remember the lyrics, but that's okay, folks. Here we go.
Okay, so we'll go a little bit slower. 1, 2.
Oh, when the sun beats down and puts the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof.
What's going on with the vocals? Wow, there's so much happening with that strum. change it up. And here's the thing too, like if someone is strumming like this, there are so many things you can do with just the
sun beats down the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my babies, where.
And let's stop right there for a second. So already, we always say, think about that conversation you're having with whoever you're playing with. If you're having a conversation, you cannot always be the straight up, da 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 da. I'm talking da da da, and then today da 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 da. If you don't leave room, if you don't leave space to have that other person have a conversation back, it's always going to be one-sided. So when we had everyone, kind of doing that same strum, it ends up starting to become this wall of sound. And we want to start, again, giving space so that there are chances to hear some of these more nuanced things that we can do. And it's really not as hard as it seems, especially as we do some of those licks and those riffs. Now, one of the kind of big, easy ways to think about these kind of rhythm changes in your strumming or playing is think of a clap. So if for example, if we're doing that down down up up down strum as a clap, and let me put Sarah on.
Do you want me to clap or do you want me to tap?
You can tap. That's
okay.
Fine. Let me
might not be quite as loud.
To camera 2. And then I'll bring.
And somebody asked the question: does it? If someone has a low G, it doesn't really matter. The things that we're talking about today, there's certain things you can do with low G to help out, depending. But we can discuss that a little bit later if there's time.
What?
Well, you can lines and things, and do some complementary things with a low G. Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah's gonna do that down down up up down kind of pattern. Now, if you have someone that's kind of going in and out, but if I try to double up with what she's doing, and if I'm even a it starts to get, again, just this clustered thing of sound that, it's actually harder when you have more things in the strum. It's actually harder to be that much more precise, because that means every single hit that you're playing with your partner or with the group needs to be exactly on it, or else it just becomes mush. So again, part of what we do, and this is something that you can do with a mute. You can mute your strings, and sometimes when I'm trying to develop a pattern, I'll kind of use this muted sound to figure out what I'm doing with that, So like the down down up up down 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 up. Instead I might do boom bop 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 boom bop 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 bop. So giving space, allowing other things to happen, is always going to be, to me, the most important part about thinking of what you're actually doing. In the packet itself, again, we're today we're talking about those big three topics, rhythm, your voicing changes, and what you can do within that space. Now, there's a couple different things we can do with rhythm changes. So for example, we have that 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4, which is your down, down, island, calypso, strum, whatever you consider that. But if I was to take that same rhythm, but just apply it a little bit differently. So let's say, again, you'll see us do this a lot. For that 1 count, I'm going to use my thumb on the C string. And then for the 2 and, actually let's do 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and. I'm going to do a scratch for the 2, which is again with the mute down. And I'm just going to do this nice kind of textured scratch. So 2, and I'll do an up. And even just from there, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 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 4. Then for the and the 4, I'll do, let's say, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I'll do another thumb on the and then I'll pluck the E and the A on the way up for the 4. So in slow motion, it's going to look like this. Thumb on the 1. And I'll do a scratch up for the 2 and then for the and 4, I'm going to do a thumb on the C. And then up on the bottom 2 strings for the 4. So that's it. One more time. Thumb, scratch up, thumb up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oops, I screwed up on that one. But it's the same exact rhythm as your down, down, up, up, down. But by allowing even those strings to have a little bit more space, all of a sudden it transforms. Instead of from the park you hear happy sounds of a carousel, into you can almost taste those hot dogs and french fries they sell under the boardwalk
Down by the sea, on a blanket with my babies, where I'll be.
So again, it starts to give more space for your vocals. Already it sounds more interesting, and it plays off of allowing certain notes to ring while others are being added to it. So there's this kind of building that happens as well. And again, that rhythm stays exactly the same. You're still doing what you're doing with that down, down, up, up, down, but you're allowing a lot more things to really shine. So,
And with doing that too, the person you're playing with to have space also, so that whether even if I was to just do that down, down, up, down strum with Craig, that would still sound okay, but I could also strum less and it would sound, I think, fuller and more beautiful, even just with first position chords. So would you mind playing your pattern again, Craig? Just when you have a moment. Because even if I just played on the first beat of everything and let notes ring, right? I think that would sound really pretty with this particular pattern. I could also add picking too if I wanted to as well. So for example, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just keeping time, right? I could also do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4. 1, 3, 4. And so all I'm doing there is a very simple C, E, A. And that's it. And that can also add a lot, whether you're doing the pattern that Craig was doing or your neighbor's just doing this guy. That actually will add a whole lot of just more interest, even though you're playing in that same place on your instrument. And it just allows, again, for space, which is very
Now,
very
out of
important.
curiosity, how bad is the audio dropping? Is it worth spending some time right now to kind of fine tune it and see if they can troubleshoot it? Or are you guys hearing enough for things to make sense? I just want to get a feel for it because, again, I'm not sure exactly why that is happening right now.
Well, thank you guys so much for letting us know. We do appreciate it. And the one thing that I forgot to mention before we even got started playing the song is you'll notice in the box chart of the verse at the bottom of the page that we're looking at currently, you'll see that I've got some notation there on the very last measure where I have an F and a C7 listed, and then there's a quarter note listed under the F, which means you play it for one beat. And then the C7 has a quarter note listed, you play it for one beat, and then rest for the other two. So that is, I forgot to mention, so sorry about that before we even got started. Awesome. Folks say it's just for a second or two, and so keep going. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys so much for your feedback. We really do appreciate it.
All right, why don't you keep pushing for it? I'll
Okay.
see if I can tweak a little bit.
Okay. So Craig's gonna keep working on it a little on it a little bit. So so just have a bunch of different examples on this page of different rhythmic things that you could even just by regular chords. So the next one that we have is we'll strum on the first beat, second. So we'll strum on 1, 2, and then 4. So it'll sound like this: 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you can hear how it's like we're not strumming all the time. One thing that could help is actually muting in between every single one. So if I did 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That way, again, you're leaving a little bit of space so that if you had somebody, say, doing picking behind you, that actually would sound really, really pretty, right? Another one, another pattern that we also have just that you can try out is underneath that. It's 1, 2, and 4. So it's just a very slight variation of the one prior. So we're playing the and of 3 in addition. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And that's another great one we were thinking could be used. And again, I am just strumming right now, but the way Craig, you could also do strumming and picking perhaps. Maybe I could do let's see, a strum, a third variation that's written on the page. I'll do a strum for the 1, and then I'll do the 2 inner strings for the 2 and for the and 4, I'll do the C. So that'll sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3. So again, what I'm doing here is strumming on the 1, doing the 2 middle strings starting on the C string for the 2 and then for my 4 and my and of 3, I am doing the A string. So let's try it one more time: 1 and 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. And 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Already going from to already creates a lot of space that then if you have a playing partner, they have places where they can add and intersperse as well, right? And yes, I see somebody saying, I need time to write down the pattern. Sorry about that. So hopefully I repeated the pattern enough times for you for that one. Feedback on the just also I will try to play the demonstrations a little bit longer just so that just make sure that we have a whole one, even if the sound does cut out, you'll get a whole through it at least a couple of times. That was me doing that pattern, and that was on our third one. And then the next line down, I actually have us where we're playing we're doing 1 and 2 and then we're letting 2 beats of just resting happen. And so for this one, if I was to just strum plain Jane, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and again, I could fill that with something else besides just strumming. You can always take a look back at, we did a muting and scratching one. So if we talk about muting and scratching now, and you go, what is that? You can actually go back in our past live streams and check out that workshop, going over that. Oh, it's funny. Somebody says that my C string is the string that YouTube doesn't seem to like. That's hilarious. So, is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So what I'm doing there is I'm scratching on those ands. I love just adding picking. So one thing that I like doing for this is maybe doing, yeah, I like that. So this is similar to the pattern before, except I'm not going to do any strumming. I'm going to play on the C and then the E string, so for 1 and then I'm going to play on the C and the A string for 2 and it'll sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 again, C E C and 4 and C E C A 3 and 4 and C and 4 and C E C A. Again, lots of space. That'll, if you have somebody playing down, down, up, up, down next to you, and you play that, it's gonna sound really, really pretty. So, can you say the pattern again? So the pattern that I'm doing is C E C A. And that's on the 1 and the 2 and. So C, E, so inside strings, and then C, A. C, E, C, A. And then resting on the 3 and 4. But doing that will hopefully help give you a bit more space and all of that. Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it, Bettina? Thank you. Yay! So, in these patterns are what I'm actually playing. So this is a technique that you can actually use if you're trying to figure out strumming patterns, or you just want to figure out on what beat things happen. I like to write out the individual beats like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the circles are what I'm going to play. I like that because let's say there's a song and I put it down for a while and I forget what pattern I used. Well, like this, I can quickly figure that out, which is really, really great. So, but hopefully that's that answers your question, Mike, about what their circles mean. They're super handy. So definitely. Aw, Nels, I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for coming. So one thing I'd like you to do is I'm going to just strum plain Jane calypso strum, and I want you to pick a pattern or create your own pattern, either with picking. And so the patterns that I went over were doing C, E, C, A, and I was using the very last one, the fourth one. So 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's one pattern that I did. Another one that I did was on that third line. It was 1 and 2 and 3. So that was me C, E, C, A. Similar, there's just a strum, and I'm playing on slightly different beats. So I'm gonna strum just your typical down, down, up, up, down for just a couple of, just on an F chord. And I want you to pick a pattern and try it out, playing along with me for just a sec. 1, 2, 3. So I could do maybe C, E, C, C, E, C, A, C, E, C, C, E, C, A. Like that one sounds pretty. So I think hopefully that is there an easy means to play remotely with others. So the question that just popped up is there an easy way to play remotely with others? I don't know of anything besides like Zoom. Things like acapella, you like it's pre-recorded, and then you add parts to it. So unfortunately, so I'm sorry about that, gang. That there's not really a good way to really play with others. Is what Diane Nalini just mentioned. So it depends on your internet speed and latency. Thanks, Diane, for popping in and mentioning that. All right, so look at the second page of the packet. Now the second page of the packet may not pop up just yet because Craig is doing some other technical things right now. The second page, please. So Craig is working on trying to sort out everything, so thank you guys so much for letting us know. Yes. I use Skype a lot of times. Somebody had mentioned that you could use Skype, but that still has some latency issues because we use that for teaching private lessons. So on the next page, we've got the next topic that think of when we talk about playing in duets, and that is using different voicings. So play in another position on your instrument is always a great idea. You could play in the second position or third position of chords. And so I have some of them written. Now, the handout that we're showing on the screen is corrected. The handout that we sent everyone, the B flat chord was incorrect. I wrote 3 there, and it should be on the 5th fret. So if you have a printout of your packet that I sent you, find that B flat and scratch out that 3 and put a 5 there. That was just a boo-boo on my part. I always joke there's at least one thing in the handout that has a small typo. So these, I wouldn't necessarily play these chords up, down if I was playing with Craig, right? I would probably just strum or arpeggiate or pick single notes of them. But let's all hold that crazy 5th fret a second. So that's 5, 5, 5, and 8. And even just doing that is while somebody's playing down, down, up, up, down, those other patterns. And that was me just playing through that slowly. I could also just strum it all the way through. Then you could use that C7 on the 3rd fret, which is just taking your bar, scooting down to the 3rd fret, and adding that note to the C string, right? And you can play, let's just go through the F7 real fast, go up to the 5th fret, add a finger to the 6th fret. Easy, right? For the B flat, you leave that 5th fret barred, yay! And then just move over 2 fingers so you're holding what looks like F, right? And then for D minor, which we're actually not going to be using for on this page, but I wrote it in there just so that you had that 2nd position one. You just have barring the 5th fret and a ring finger on that 7. That's D minor. And then the C that I wrote is in our verse right now, but I have it there for you. 3rd fret. And your ring finger isn't necessarily needed. You can have an open G string, and that will work just fine too. There we go. Yeah. So you can have an open G string. If you play low G, this voicing might not sound as nice, but just keep that in mind for when you go to play that other section. So now is we're going to go through and we're only going to strum on the first beat of the measure using these chords just to go through with the different voicings. So get your F chord ready. And luckily many of these chords are held for a really long time. 1, 2, 3, high F. 1, 2, 3 again. And then go to the C7. 1, 2, 3 again. 3 some more. 2, 3 again. Back to that high F. F7, just move a finger. There we go. B, 2, 3 again. And then back to that F. Up too high, sorry, F. 2, 3, 4. And then the C7 3rd fret. 2, 3, back to F. 2, 3, and then if you can, that speedy little change. Now you could play C7 up here. For this, I just am only version of C7. And Peter, that's funny. Yes, showing I am human. Yes, with the mistakes. That's how I felt. I saw a concert once with Jake, and he was playing and playing and playing, and he made one of those faces that we all make when we mess up. And I remember thinking, oh, he's human too. So, if we can, Craig, do you think that you can take a second to play just down, down, up, up, down for me for a little bit? So let's go through. Craig's going to play down, down, up, up, down, just plain Jane, and I'm going to go through and play these chords, and feel free to play whichever part you would like. And I'm just keeping it super simple right now because we've got new chords under our fingers. And then we'll play the verse a second time, and I'll do a slightly different thing with it, and then I'll explain what I was doing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Beats down and beat the tar up on the roof. And your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. F7. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a my baby is where I'll be. And we'll repeat that. And then I'm going to try one of our patterns. And then C7. So I'm just doing C, E, A. C, E, A. C, E, A. high F, C, E, A, F7, C, E, A, B flat, C, E, A, C, E, A, back to that high F, C, E, A, C, E, A, C7, C, E, A, and then just F. Very simple pattern. I was resting on that first beat and the C, E, and A string, utilizing these higher strings and the higher positions. And the great thing about that is we now have more depth of sound because you've got the two different positions, of course. Plus, I'm not strumming on top of him, and I'm just creating extra texture at this point. I could do something more complicated if I wanted to. You know, I could, all I did there was I'm resting on the first beat and I'm playing C, E, C, A, E, C. There. And actually, Steve mentioned something in the on the next page. So I'll get there. So again, that pattern I just did, if I want to be more complicated, was rest, C, E, C, A, E, C. 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 And that sounds really lovely too. Craig, would you mind playing a little bit with me on that one? And I'll play this pattern a little bit. So 1, 2, 3. C, E, C, A, E, C. C, E, E, C. F. It's hard to say. F7. A, C. And then just F. So even that sounds really, really lovely. I like mixing actually, and not necessarily playing the exact same thing all the time. So for example, if I was to take the one where I'm picking more and doing, and then when I go to my C7s, I might just do the simplified one. C, E, A, C, E, A, C, E, A, C, E, A, and then do the more complicated. So you can also break things up in that manner too when you're playing with someone, where you can have slightly different patterns throughout. You don't need to play the exact same thing constantly. In fact, you as a player may get bored with that, and the fact that your listener too might want to hear something different, and also think about the lyrics, what's being told in the song. So I think that that's good for right now. I want to actually get into some of the other voicings. So let's actually turn the page and look at some of these alternative voicings that we could possibly use too. Now for a song like this, I'm crazy with using some of these substitutions only because this song, I don't want to say it's a simple song. It's not that. It's just that I feel like if you go too far with it, you might actually take away from the story the song's trying to tell. So you don't necessarily want to throw in too many crazy chords for this song. But some of the different you'll notice that instead of playing an F, you could try playing an F. Easy. It's just barring that 5th fret, right? So let me actually double check something here. There we go. So I could just bar the 5th fret, and I can do those same kinds of picking patterns that I did prior. That's something that can totally be used very, very easily. The other piece too, let me actually just double check something here. There we go. There we are. And then I have a C9 listed, which it's chord like we did, but all we're doing is adding a finger to that fifth. And then you could take it away, which is what I have us actually doing in our verse, our little to do. So, and then the F7, but then you can add the 9, which is going to be on that C string on the 7th fret, which I have us just adding. I probably in the song, but for the sake of practice, I'm having us do that. And then I'm having us use a B flat 6, which I think is a really beautiful chord. 3 5 3 5. Also, as a side note, for those of you that don't know, the first position of that chord is 1 1. Anytime there's a B flat listed and you are having trouble playing B flat, you can actually use this chord. Fun fact. But the second position one is this guy, which is, I think, a really pretty voicing. So those are the different sort of options that we have. Let's go through and actually go through this verse, and we're going to just strum on the first beat of when a chord is listed. So if you in that C9 and you see a C7, so it'll be on the first beat with a C9 and then on the third beat with that C7. So you're only strumming each chord once. That'll hopefully give you time to get to the chords for moving around. So let's give it a try. Yay. And let's see. Oh yeah, you can use inside-outside roll for this stuff if you would like. If you do that, that means that you're playing on the G string, which is totally awesome and fine. I'm just, for me right now with the picking patterns I'm using, I'm not playing the G string, but that doesn't mean that you can't involve the G string at all. That's just, I'm doing personal preference of picking patterns I like to play. That's all. All right. I like flat 6. It's a nice chord. So let's go through and try out these guys. One, and I'm just going to strum like that. You can actually do whatever you want because you're at home, and I'm going to just strum on those beats. So 1 2 3 4, F6 2 3. Again, get the C9 ready. 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1. That was a fast change. 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2. Just C7. 1 2 3. 5th fret. 1 2 3 4. Sounds very. Actually try it, and we have Craig playing with us. You can totally do picking patterns, and somebody asked, was one of my patterns CE? So the picking pattern that I did earlier, Bettina, was C E C A E C C E C A E C. So hopefully that did that, and I'll also write this down real quick. The picking pattern was C E C A E C. There we go. Okay, so let's play this with Craig, and I'm gonna start and then I'm gonna actually do different picking patterns so you can hear how it sounds. All right, 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 2 3 4. there, right? Now, I actually don't these chords, so I'm going to now play it again with Craig, and I'm going to do a mix of some of our second position chords. So anytime there's an F, I'm actually going to play, or the F6 that's listed on this page, I'm actually going to play that F because I preferred that one. I'm also going to do, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to play F9, I'm just going to play F7, and I'm going to play that B flat 6. I think the only major changes, instead of F6, I'm going to play F. And I'm actually going to strum on one and. It's going to sound like this. 1 and 4. 1 and. That's all I'm going to do. And if I have two chords listed like that C7 and C9, it's going to be like that, where it's the 9 take away. So that's what the pattern that I will be doing, because I think it's going to sound really nice and complement what Craig is doing. So let's give that a shot. Again, I'm going to just be changing up my F chord, I think, for the most part. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The sun beats down and the tar up on the roof. 9 away. Here we go. And your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. And then the F7. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea. On a blanket with my baby. Let's do it again. Now I'll mix it up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Nice. So I did a little bit of just variance there, just a little bit in there, but I felt like it didn't need to do too much, just because Craig had a really good handle on the rhythm, and I was just trying to add things that complemented. And somebody is asking about the alternate for B flat. Play the B flat 6, but in the first position, which is going to be open 2 1 1, and that's it. So my chord hand. So Bonnie, was there a specific chord that got missed? Because I didn't realize that my hand went out of frame. Do you play down, down, up, up, down twice per measure? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's once per measure, because it's because down, down, up, up, down, that calypso-y strum is one measure. So thank you for asking that question. Excellent. Alrighty. So again, you know, you can use different voicings. You can also give space, or not just space. You can also, the first topic, rhythm. Rhythm is super, super important. One thing when we first got started was, remember that rhythm is the pulse of the song. And you have a pulse, and if your pulse stops, you cease to be. And if the pulse of the song stops, it ceases to be. The most important thing, because it's that's the heart of the song. You can have chords in it. You know, even if I just tapped things out, you can still sing a cappella. So just always keep that in mind. Rhythm is super, super, super important.
All right, I want to shift gears for just a second. Let's go full screen on that. And I'm going to do this. Okay, now move Sarah back. And out of curiosity, has the sound been better? The stream has been staying healthier, even though we haven't really done anything. I really do feel like something was going wonky with YouTube, but let's see. I'm just curious if, in fact, things have been better. Let's see. All right. Now, one of the great things, I'll squish this way, about playing in the key of F is that you'll hear me talk a lot about safe notes. And in this particular case, what I mean by that is, in the key of F, I have my C note, my B flat, my A, my G, my F, and E. So that means those 3 notes, or those 3 frets on each string, on the A and the E, all sound great in the key of F. And then for the C string, we have the D note, which is on the 2 and open. So again, that means we have 3, 1, open on the A, 3, 1, open on the E, 2, open on the C. And I want to showcase how much you can do with that knowledge. So Sarah, I'm going to have you play.
And I'm just going to do your typical strum.
Mm-hmm.
Count me in, but whatever speed you'd like.
1, 2, 3. So there's a lot that can be done with that, and I'm going to give you a few examples. One, I want to, okay, so that is a little wonky. I wonder why. And everything is plugged in. I wonder if I can get enough power on the ATEM. I'm going to do one more quick reset on the ATEM. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in about 10 seconds. I'm going to see if this helps. Okay, so we should be back. Now, the first one I want to bring up, the first kind of lick there, we're going to utilize our hammer-ons and pull-offs with the open A. And actually, I should go to this guy. With the open A, we're going to hit the open A, hammer the 1, and all that means is we're going to press and release. So right hand, hammer, pull. Let's get this in focus. And then we're going to go to 3 on the E to the 1. Now, the reason why we use the hammer and pull-offs instead of hitting every note is that look how different that sounds. So instead of, it's going to sound like this. It flows so much better. So again, we're hitting the open A once, hammer and pull off with the index finger on the left hand. Three, and then to the 1. So I love using little things like this as a turnaround, or going back to the start of the phrase. So here, you can use it in a couple different places. do the FC7, FC7, rest, and then go straight into that next beginning verse there. And again, it's a super nice but effective way of nailing that kind of phrase and turnaround. Another one that is going to go all the way back to some of our scale exercises where, and again, you can find this in my bootcamp workshop, in our live streams as well. We have a ton of different scale exercises. The one I'm referring to is going up 3 steps, back 1, up 3, back 1. So it's going to sound like this. And on the way down, it's the same thing. So in this case, in the key of F, we have C, B flat, A. So 3, 1, open. And then go back up a step to the B flat, A, G. Let's see. So we have C, B flat, A, G, A, and this is where I change up a little bit, E, F. So let me do it really slow. C, B flat, A, that's my first 3. Then B flat, A, G, then A, E, F. Now, sounds a little harsh, right? So again, we're going to utilize some of those hammer-ons to help. So I can do pluck, pull, oh, not hammer-ons, pull-offs. Hit, pull, pull. So all a pull-off is, again, is plucking with those left-hand fingers. So I'm going to hit, pull, pull. Oh, no. So let's try that phrase. Hit, pull, pull, back to the 1. You're going to hit that one more time with the thumb. Hit, pull, to 3. Let's do a close-up of that. So we have hit, pull, pull, hit, pull, 3. And then A, E, F. Or you can even do a hammer on there if you really want to. But again, it has such a different phrasing than hitting every single note. Awesome. So again, it's literally based off of that scale exercise. I know all of you have been practicing a lot, but again, it all, you know, one of the things that we want to showcase today is, again, there's been so many things that you've been learning during this time and during your numerous workshops and events that you've been attending, and this is, you know, ways to start really implementing them and putting them into a real world situation where you can actually utilize these techniques and these exercises. So again, we're trying to push that a ton moving forward. Now let's think of a and in that case, that long one would be under by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Like you with my baby is where I'll be. So it's a much longer form of that run, but again, it's not bad at all. Now, when I was doing those kind of random, well, quote unquote random licks earlier with Sarah, one of the things I utilized was, again, I can have 3-1 open, 3-1 open, 2-0. But what I would focus on is that depending on what chord I'm playing over, I'll either hit a note in that chord to lean on, or I'll use the root. So for example, Sarah, let's just go back and forth between F and C7. Two
Okay.
times on F, two times on C7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So on F, then I'm going to a C7. So again, part of this is you have to experiment. You know, if you're kind of starting to pick for the first time and trying to do these little fills and riffs, you have to experiment. So part of it is either recording yourself playing through, you know, the chords and kind of following along. And one of the other things that I love doing too, if you're starting this for the first time, is you already know what safe notes you have. Do you hold the B flat while you pluck the C? Oh, I'll get to that in a second. So one of the things that you do know already is that you have 4 safe notes that you can play. And then it's about adding those additional notes. So let's try the actual song this time. So 1, 2, 3.
Beats down, tar up on the roof.
C7. So mixing between my open notes. The notes I know are safe 3, 1, and open on the A and the E. So B flat, F, F to a C7. Let's try one more time. F, C7, back to F. So I can hit any notes in my F chord and add my safe notes, C7.
Dum, da, dum.
And on. Perfect. F7.
Dum, da, da, da,
B flat. So I have these notes plus these notes. F. I can add my 3s. To C7. B flat. So part of it is starting off with holding the chord. So again, when I'm playing F, I can hold my F or F add 9, which is simpler. And again, I can add 3, I can add my 1, I can do the open A, I can add my 3 on the E. But you have all, again, there's so much you can do with just that. And there's no reason to be afraid of adding some of these fills, of experimenting with some of these kind of picking runs.
And can we turn you up just a hair? Some folks saying you're a little quiet.
Oh.
They want more of you.
I'm so shy, that's why. Oh my gosh. Okay, hopefully that helps. But again, part of it is you know, really giving yourself the chance to experiment and not being afraid to fail. You know, Brian makes a really good point. You know, he always says, you know, I've failed more times than you've even tried. And that's the only way to kind of start finding your sound and finding ways to make this your arrangement or this your sound. One of the things that I was hoping to bring up in the beginning before all of the kind of YouTube tech issues was utilizing a little bit more of that muting and scratching. Again, if you haven't watched my muting and scratching workshop, please do so. It's free on YouTube. Or you can go to our website and find it from the live streams. But there's something, especially these kind of songs, that it helps having those hits. For example, if I just did "When the sun beats down and melts the tar upon the roof, when ashes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof." But now adding those hits with the mutes, scratches, when the sun beats down That's the tap on the roof. When your shoes get so hot, you wish you're tired. Feet were fire.
Now, yeah, my blanket with my baby.
But again, it adds so much. And the funny thing is that it's actually doing less, right? We're actually stopping the ringing, and it's that space that gives it that power.
Now, would you do that again? And I am going to play some of those other voicings that we did with you, with some slightly different picking patterny things, so that you can hear what it sounds like when Craig is leaving space, I'm leaving space, and we are not making a wall of sound, and we're actually kind of listening to each other and playing off of each other, just for a verse.
Okay, 1, 2. When
The sun beats down,
that's the time upon the roof. When your shoes get so hot, you wish you're tired, didn't fire proof. Down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby. I'll be.
Yeah, so that's how you can kind of hear then together adding some of the different either picking patterns that I did or voicings that I chatted about with what Craig's doing. It adds and really does kind of make the song much more of a duet. You can just strum down, down, up, down with your partner. But if you can both do things to really be able to enhance your conversation, think of it as using more sophisticated vocabulary, then you can really say a lot with two people. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, and what I'm gonna do if the stream for the replay still has these crazy audio issues, what I might do, we're gonna try and dig out some time and
just
and do a video. And because of all the issues, we'll be able to get it down packed. And so I'll make sure to make some time to do it. I'm not sure why exactly, which is kind of scary for me. Yes, and Teko's Teko could definitely do that run from I'll Fly Away as well. I like the key of F. And aloha Teko, great to see you. I like the key of F because I mentioned like we have those safe notes, 3-1 open, 3-1 open. It's back to back on those two strings, so there's a lot of potential there. I actually love the key of A as well. Similar reason where in the key of A we have open 2 4 5, open 2 4 5 on the E and A that are exact safe notes on the C. So a lot of mirrored things, which
and
is
with
nice.
what Craig was talking about too with adding these notes is that's how you can create motifs that maybe you add or creating riffs like he did earlier. This allows you to be able to just again, it's adding that conversation, whether you're trying to emphasize something that's happening in a lyric or whatever. It's really great tools, and this is just another reason why those darn scales are important.
Yes. And we do have a great run that was actually done from the All Creator Boys version of the song that we all grew up kind of emulating, and this is a great example of contextual fills. So what we're going to do here, we're going to play the two open strings, the two middle open strings, index and middle, or your thumb and index, or your thumb. Now we're going to hit those two middle open strings. We're going to add the 2 and the 1. 2 on the C string, 1 on the E. So open these 2 and 1, slide up 1, slide up 1, back down, and open. Let's try that again. Open 2 strings, 2 in the middle, 2 and 1, up, up, back down, open. Last time, open, drop, down, down, or I should say up and then back down. Where this is gonna go, second verse. From the park you hear the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste those so again, it's so nice because it relates to what the lyrics are saying, and you have that kind of vision of that kind of circular motion. These little things like that, to me, are some of the most fun things you can think of when you're creating your arrangements. And again, we talked about leaving space. So, for example, if Sarah knows I'm going to be hitting that for that second verse, she's going to lay out. She's not even going to play. And we're going to do it twice. One where you continue to play the down, down, up, and down, and then the second time we'll stop. And we'll see how much more powerful that is. From the park you hear the happy sound. You can almost taste those. All right, let's try it one more time. From the park you hear happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste those hot dogs and french fries they sell under the boardwalk. It's yes, we will definitely make an extra video, and we'll do a couple different versions of it as well.
And the other thing I'm also planning on doing too for our is I'm actually going to create a duet in music notation and tab, so that you can, with some of our different ideas, so that you can try it out if you have a partner that you play with. So that's going to be in your follow-up material for that. So something to look forward to.
If you're on our mailing list, we'll make you will.
Everybody automatically receives it.
The extra material. We'll send it out as soon as we do it. Monday, I'm hoping to do it either later tonight or tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I think we could knock it out.
Yeah, I think so too. How important is it to think of chord tones when improvise licks? Michael, that's a great question. For me, that was started. Once you start really doing a lot of that, then it starts becoming second nature. So you're not necessarily thinking so much about the chord structure, but you can hear where your melody line takes you. Just like if you were to hum a solo or to sing a solo with random words, you're not necessarily thinking of the chord that you're singing with, right? You're actually just thinking of the melody and the pitch. So that, to me, is what you're going to end up doing by having this ukulele that much of a part of you. But I think that's going to be a great way of getting there. At least for me, it was.
And I know for me, I like to think about if I'm playing a song and I notice that there's chords that are in the tune that are not typically in the key, that's when I focus a lot on those chord tones, because that's when you get some step movements and things like that. So for example, let's say if this song had an A7 in it, for example, then I would make sure to play that weird C sound in the key of F during that A7 chord somewhere in my lick, because that is a note that's indicative of that particular chord, and it will show doesn't usually live in the family of chords that are being played. But that's how I would utilize that for that kind of example.
Okay,
that's a great question.
I'll tell you what, because there are some things I skipped in the beginning, what we'll do now is this: we'll play through it a couple times
Yeah.
with some of the things that we talked about, but we're gonna do a more in-depth video where we don't have to worry about
The audio.
the audio issues that were going on today. I thank you guys for sticking around.
Yes.
And again, if you're on a mailing list, you'll get that video and the extra PDFs that go along with it. Thank you for those of you who already did donate. I think I have a little thing. If you guys are loving these live streams, except for today's audio, this is where you can donate to help that. Again, thank you to our Artist Work students
Yes.
who have been incredible, and I need to catch up on your Halloween challenges. I heard
so
such
many of
great
them are
things. Excited! I'm really excited.
So good.
We've been swamped with some of these announcements that we can't make yet, but and again, just a clue of what's coming up. Again, we have the Beyond the Basics series on November 15th, 22nd, 6th, and 13th. We're featuring Nue, a live performance here in Manoa, on the 22nd, which is Brian Tolentino, Kama Hopkins, and Hollyhock Seaberry. Live performance at the Kanalea Showroom at Windward Mall here in Hawaii, December 5th. We're doing a Melikaliki chord melody workshop, which was exclusive last year to our Artist Work students, but we're kind of revamping that and doing a live stream with that, and that'll be our big live stream. Yeah.
Can I mention and with that particular one, it's going to be incredibly special because you'll be able to win an instrument. We have got our wonderful friend Kale Gamiao of Nui Nui Ukulele is got an instrument for us that we are going to be giving away during that live stream.
Yes, that's gonna be exciting. And then December 12th, we're joining Cynthia Lynn for her big holiday special live. More details about that soon. And then a holiday event that's still being put together with Heidi Swedberg, Daniel Ward, James Hill, and Janelle. More details on that too. Next week, we should be able to unveil our huge announcements. So stay tuned for that. Let's play a little bit, and again, thank you guys for sticking it out. I know it was very hard with having some of those audio issues, but
we appreciate it. Thank you. And also for playing at the same time, if you're saying I can't do that picking pattern and play, just keep in mind that you will need to practice that picking pattern until it's second nature in order to be able to sing and play it at the same time. So when just do a simple strumming pattern that you can make it through singing. And not singing, you can throw in that fancy stuff.
Oh, Susie, definitely. That's so great. If you're signed up with Artist Works, the biggest thing I always recommend is start from the beginning. There's going to be some absolutely fantastic exercises that we still do to this day to keep nimble.
Yes.
And we show how it translates to all of these building blocks for these advanced techniques. So even if you blaze through it, start from the beginning and you're going to find all these little holes that might be there in your foundation. And that to me is the best way to really get the most. And then from there, we can take off in different directions. But utilize those video exchanges. They're my favorite part of the program, where you can actually work one-on-one with us.
Yes.
And
great. Also, we love getting to see you. So that's for us is our joy. So
thank you for joining us there. And there's going to be some crazy Black Friday specials with Artist Works coming up in a few weeks. So keep an eye on that. We'll let our mailing list know as well. But again, we'll redo this entire workshop and get it more streamlined without any. And we'll make it as an unlisted. We'll make a public video. But again,
this might get unlisted.
As long as you're on a mailing list, we will get you sorted. But we'll play through it, and again, we'll have stuff in that video that we didn't get to today. I'm sorry, I was a little distracted trying to make everything work, but I still got to figure out what's going on.
You're a wonderful tech man, Craig.
Okay, all right, we'll do. Okay.
Oh, and don't be nervous about video exchanges, Betsy. Once you do the first one. Here, I actually used to get nervous answering students, if you can believe it.
You can also pick up really cheap Halloween masks now. You can use that if you're shy.
And also remember, you need to see,
Oh.
this, right? Even though we love getting to see your smiling face, we only really need to see the ukulele. So if something, happens and you just don't want to show your face, that's also okay too.
But thank you for it. And again, I cannot wait to unveil some of the things that we've been talking about. It's just incredible, and we feel so fortunate. Again, it's probably the biggest thing that we've ever done for the uke community since we started. But yeah, okay, let's play. When the sun beats down, it's the top on the room. You wish your tired feet were fireproof.
Under the boardwalk, on a blanket with my bed, it's where I'll be.
Yeah, the happy sounds of a carousel. You can almost taste those hot dogs and french fries they sell.
Down by the sea, on a blanket, it's where I'll be.
D minor. Under the boardwalk.
Out on the sun.
It's a little bit fast. From the park you hear happy sounds of the carousel. Taste those hot dogs and french fries they sell.
On a blanket with my where
Great,
I
but let's do
be.
some of the additional stuff that we didn't get to. The boardwalk, under the boardwalk, under the boardwalk, under the boardwalk, So again, a lot of fun stuff that we can do to mimic, some of the melody notes from some of these chord choices. And again, being able to stay kind of out of the way of each other. And when we do stop with those hits, it sounds so much more powerful because of that being in sync. And that. Let's do the one more time. From the park, you hear happy sounds of a carousel. So I'm just alternating how I'm hitting that chord. The popcorn and French fries they sell.
Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, it's where I'll be.
So, and again, thank you guys so much. And we'll have coming up. Again, I apologize for some of the audio issues today. One of the fun things with our Mele Kalikimaka chord melody. That's there'll kind of be an easier and a little bit harder version as well. But it's gonna be in that kind of a style, which is this really fun, upbeat version. Oh, and again, it is playing off of our Christmas album that we made last year. Let's
And
see if
there is a digital songbook that goes with our album if you want to purchase that too, where we actually have backing tracks where we just take our vocals and our in the high G uke out of the mix, so you can be the star and you can play along. And there's actually kind of like little mini lessons with each song, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have that digital book that has all the chords that we play and kind of some of the nuanced things that we do in the record itself. But thank you guys so very much.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's you know, we'll do what we can. I'll definitely get things sorted. I'm not sure why today of all times we had some issues with YouTube, but we'll keep plugging away, and thank you for your patience. And again, we will have a video that has everything sorted for you, so we'll get working on that right away. And if you're on our mailing list, we will let you know without you having to do anything else.
Yep,
so,
absolutely. So
thank you guys, and we can't wait to let you know what's happening next week. So until then, we will see you soon. Be safe, be healthy.
Yes.
And have a fantastic rest of your weekend.
Bye.
Bye.